Within the North collection, we needed a reference system, something that expressed the quintessence of all we created with the North collection. And the 800 represents that quintessence. So in the 800 range, there's two models, the 891 streaming DAC preamplifier and the 861 power amplifier.
The 891 and the 861 and all our other products are made right here, the factory of Simaudio. So we do ourselves all the board stuffing and then solder them. We have a selective soldering machine. What it does is it has kind of a fountain of soldering that will go pick all the pins from underneath, but we can program that machine in such a way that the time that it passed to each of the pin is actually calculated. So you can, for example, stay longer on a part that is bigger and has more thermal inertia, and go faster on tiny parts that doesn't need to be heated for so long. That is quite different than the wave soldering where everything gets soldered in one shot. So it increases the quality of the soldering on our boards. Something someone may not think about that can happen in those processes is sometimes it can have a wrong part or a solder that is not perfectly done. It's very, very rare, but you don't want to let them through, right? So we have this visual inspection that is made with AOI, computerized machine. So it takes pictures of the boards and compared with the reality with one that is working in such a way that then a human can be shown what are the differences compared to a proper board and the board that has just been produced. And so it can quickly see whatever is different, if there's something different, so it can then inspect with human intelligence on what's going on here, right? So at Simaudio, we manufacture also the chassis of the unit. With our CNC machine, we're machining metal extrusion and also metal plate of aluminum. And so we're using these high-precision CNC machine that we programmed based on 3D models that we have designed in the R&D so that we can manufacture the parts to very high tolerance. Like, for example, in our BRM remote control, we need very high precision and tiny aluminum parts in the remote to have that nice feeling. So for these type of parts, we go to super high precision, such as 1/1000 of an inch. For some other parts, for example, the top cover, even if it's 10 thou bigger in thickness, for example, it doesn't really matter. No one's going to see it. It doesn't change anything, right? So sometimes it's made just way more precise because it requires it. It takes a lot of machine time, so it gets expensive, but this is how it is. We want to make it to look nice and to feel nice, so it's machined this way. Once all the transistors of the amplifier channel is put on the heatsink and the board soldered to it, it will go to a QC step. So they will not assemble the complete amplifier with one channel, for example. It will then be QC'd. And then once it's QC'd, we'll go back to the assembly process. We do it in this order because once it's assembled, if there's something wrong for whatever reason, it will be way harder to find out what's going wrong and have to dismantle the whole thing before finding out what has been wrongly assembled. And at the QC stage is the most elaborate of the test, because then it's not just a functional test, but it's also a performance test. So you will make sure that the distortion level, the noise, all the parameters that has been specified during the design that must be met are going to be measured to make sure that everything is perfectly fine. And then it will go to a burn-in area where the amp will be, working and connected the dummy load that are connected to the loudspeaker output. And so the amp will be working hard until next day. Only the next day that the amp will be finally tuned with the bias current being adjusted. And it also assured that going overnight working hard, that if there was going to be something wrong with the amp, it could have been happened during the night, which almost never happens, but you want to make sure that it never happens to a customer.
We're very proud of what we've done with the North collection, and especially with the 800 level units. We had a lot of discussion, thinking about what would be the hi-fi tomorrow. And obviously we wanted to keep the performance, our core philosophy for 45 years in terms of performance, but also we wanted something that was ready for the future. and that people would think about the North Collection and Simaudio as a moving forward company. And this comes also with the name of North Collection, going to the north, moving forward.
And one more important thing, we've been focusing on the 891 and 861 today, but it's actually the same processes that are used for all the Moon products. What I've described is the cumulative knowledge that we have been putting in place over 45 years at Simaudio, building and manufacturing products. And to my knowledge, we're doing it the very best way we can.